Hi friends, welcome back to the new video. So today while working on the task in my kitchen, I was listening to the WTF podcast by Nikhil Kamath and the co-founder of Zerodha. And their whole talk was around helping a 20-year youngster who wants to become an influencer. So what all steps he can take or what all advices these four creators have to offer to that 20-year kid. The four guests on the podcast were number one was Nas Daily, number two was Prajakta Kohli, number three was Ranveer Allahabadia, number fourth was Tanmay Bhatt. This was a very interesting podcast that lasted for almost 3 hours, and it was, trust me, it was an entire masterclass about content creation. So I learned so much from this podcast, but here are seven most important lessons that I have learned from this podcast, and in the coming future I'm going to rewatch or re-listen that podcast again and again, so I can soak the entire knowledge from these creators and the billionaire host, the Nikhil Kamath. So the number one lesson I learned is you can't survive on content creation alone. So this was very clear in the beginning of podcast. They were all these creators agreed upon that in order to play the game in a bigger level, you have to start in business out of the distribution or following that you have got from the content creation, because content creation is not a lifelong game where you can survive, because the algorithm of social media sites want a new Mr. Beast every 5 years. And the lesson number two over here is a new creator, a person who is starting in 2024 should start with short form content like reels for Instagram or shorts for YouTube, because algorithm are set in a way that it will give more exposure or discoverability to the short form content instead of a new creator posting a long form content. So we should focus on short form content first, as we got discoverability or exposure to the audience, then we can deep dive into our niche. The lesson number three is quantity over quality. Most of us tends to focus a lot on quality, that we want to produce quality content, but this notion is completely wrong, because quality doesn't come before quantity. So the quantity is because quantity is the thing that will ultimately lead towards the quality. So focus on producing more instead of producing less, and with a lot of quality. Instead, produce quality so you can improve with the quality as well along the time. The lesson number four is everything has a 7 year shelf life, or everything has 7 year lifespan. And according to them, the content creation game is almost 7 year long. So every content creator should every content creator should create a business out of the distribution or following he got before the 7 year span, so he can get the maximum output of the input he have given in the last 7 years. The lesson number five is don't fake what you are not, because most content create because it is the notion that we want to show the interesting things to our audience, but that's a wrong notion. Instead, live an interesting life and then make videos around it, instead of being interesting only for making videos. Lesson number six over here is algorithms are changing every 6 months. Yes, this is quite true, because these experienced content creator knows the game, and it was clear from all of them that that the algorithm of these social site these social media app these social media companies are changing every 6 months. So in order to get ahead from your competitors, you should have more focus on the CEOs of Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter, and listen carefully what they say, and what they say about the algorithm, and follow these instructions in order to stay relevant. The lesson number 7 is build community, not audience. All these creators agreed that community is more important than the audience, because because community of 1000 people is more valuable than a following of 1 lakh people. So instead of instead of being focused about the following, we should be more focused towards building community in order to sustain and become profitable in our content creation journey. So friends, these were the 7 lessons that I have learned from this podcast today. If you like the video, please hit the subscribe button, and see you in the next video. Till now, thank you so much. Bye bye.